Okay, we are ready for part 2. So far we have our main building. And so what I'm going to have you do is you can hide all the layers except the picture. And what really kind of gives this school character are going to be the windows and the trim pieces on top. So let's start with kind of a basic window template. So make a new layer on top. And sometimes you have to drag your new layers around. So for the window, let's just say that we want a fill to be black and a stroke to be white. And then we can make adjustments from there. And we're just going to make the main shape of the window. And then you can do that for all of them. Oops. Now, for this one, I would just do actually, it might be easier to see if you do the inside and then come out with the other one. But see, if they don't match up, it's going to look weird. So you could put in some lines or you could straighten them out, but you do want to make sure that the tops of these windows are perfectly aligned. Again, you have to keep going to the move. Oh, I just clicked out. You have to go to the move tool, select it, go to the pen tool, and then you can draw with it. I definitely don't love how bright that white is. I think it looks out of place. So I'm going to sample a different color. I accidentally made an extra little piece. And again, the bright white is going to be way too bright, so sample the shadowed white. Okay. You can turn on your layers to see how it looks. I think it looks pretty good. I may want to match up these whites. I'm going to take this swatch of white and hit plus, and that way I can go to here and just use the same one. Okay. All right, so now we want the roof line. We may have to tweak these after we draw them because we want them to match the roof perfectly. So we do need to make a new layer on top. Right now I have my fill to black and my stroke to white, so I just need to toggle those and switch. Now, what I like to do whenever you do kind of an extension is this, kind of like what we did with the posts. So we have this. I'm going to actually sample this fill color. It's more gray. And now I'm going to make a duplicate of it. Now the gray color will be on the bottom, and we want maybe a brighter white to go on top. We're just going to layer those a little bit just so it looks like it has some dimension. And then you're going to do the same thing with the other side. Now the only tricky part here is that you want this roof line to go underneath the little jut out. So let's see, my layer 4. So I'm going to want to draw this below my layer 4. So I'm going to add a new layer and drag it below my layer 4 so it goes underneath. And I'm just going to start. I'm trying to match these up with the other one. There's a little gap, but I'll have to fix that later. Now I'm going to duplicate it. I'm going to, the first one, I'm going to make a little gray. And I'm going to pull that down and bring this one on top. And then if I turn on layer 4, that should go above there. We'll have to see how this works. If this line, I'm going to show you what you can do if this hangs over. I can add extra anchor points, and then I can kind of move it so it's tucked underneath. So again, if you just use the pen tool and click on here, you can kind of move these. Oops, I probably need another pen tool. So they kind of go underneath there. It looks pretty good. Okay, now we just are gonna do a few other things. These windows, way too bright for their shadowed area, so I am gonna go back to my original kind of gray outline for those because they are in a shadow. That looks a lot better. All right, this here, this wall, it's not, I want to make sure, again, if you see anything like that, you just adjust it. All right, now I am going to hide a few layers on the side so I can see. There we go. All right, now any little like vents and stuff like that, I don't think we need. I'm just going to make a new layer. I want it below the cube. So I'm going to make a new layer above here. Go to the move tool, duplicate the bottom one. I want a darker shadow. And move this one above it. And then I'm going to do the same down here. Now I already know I'm not going to like that color because it is more stucco colored than gray. I'm going to duplicate it. The bottom one I'm going to make a little darker. Nice. Okay, let's talk about the window. All right, so we want to go down to the bottom or make a new layer and drag it to the bottom. And we can make some of these dark window lines. Again, that's what's giving this school some character. So we can just draw some lines in here. So I think we could just get away with, if we make a segment and then go to the properties and go to the stroke and say we want it like maybe, oop, that's too big. 122. Whoa. This is big. Hold on. Let's see. I'm going to try 3 points. Maybe 2 points. Okay, so we have a 2-point stroke. And again, they're light colored for right now, but that's okay. Oop. Now you have to click, it's going to be pain because you have to click off each time and then go back to the pen tool. So click off, oops, see? Now I already know this one's crooked, I can tell. So I'm going to fix it. Now, in pure minimalistic fashion, I'm not sure that we need the lines of the doors, but we'll see. Now, if you hold the little button on the bottom while on the move tool, it does allow you to select all these strokes at once because we're going to change the color. And I want them black. Let's see how that looks when we turn on some layers. I need to move these up. There we go. All right, definitely an area I forgot was over here. So if we hide the cube and hide anything that's holding us up over here, let's see, we need to draw in this one side. So I'm going to go below and I'm going to draw it in. Okay, now let's see. to me, I need to fix a few things. So now you can just kind of look around and see what you have to fix. If anything's a little out of whack. I definitely do not love this line. I'm going to make it a little thinner. There we go. I feel like I'm missing a roof line. I do not know what layer, that must be on this, no? I don't know why I can't see that. I may just draw them back in. I'm not sure why it's not just highlighting. So I don't know how I lost this side panel, but I'm going to draw them back in. Okay, so now a school needs a flagpole, right? So this doesn't have a really good image of the flagpole. It's just kind of way up, way too high. So we're going to fake it a little bit. So I also have a flagpole image for you. And so we are going to place the flagpole in where we want it. So you want to make a new layer on top, go to your pictures, and the flagpole picture that you've downloaded. Now this is giant. If you look at the bottom of the flagpole, there is a guy way down at the bottom. This is like a huge, huge flagpole, but I really liked how it was shaped. So nobody needs to know how big it was originally. So we're going to just place it where our flagpole generally is, and we're gonna redraw it. So go to the plus sign. Now for this one, again, we're thinking minimalistically. So you want to think in very basic forms. Now I'm going to introduce to you the pencil tool. And in cases like this, where something's really organic, you could use the pencil tool, but I do not recommend it on most of your building areas. So I am going to sample the red color, and with the pencil tool, I'm going to follow the contour. Now it's kind of hard because it doesn't just always fill. So you gotta kind of follow this contour. And then down here you have to kind of guess. And then come home. But it gives you an enormous amount of little anchors. That's why I don't love it for most things. Now, in here where I kind of missed a little area, I can select this shape and I can still go to the pen tool. Oh, actually, I want to go to the modify tool. Oops, something. Oh, there it is. It's popping up down low. I was zoomed in too much. Oops. I can click on little anchors and delete them. All right. Now, if you notice, I skipped the bottom here because I want to make that its own shape. So I'm going to make another layer, drag it below, go to the pencil, and I'm going to make this its own shape. It doesn't seem like it matters now, but it will matter later. Now I want another layer. Again, I want this below the red, and I'm going to sample the blue. Use the pencil. And get the general shape there. Now, hide the red layers and add a new layer. And with the pencil, you can draw in. And with this one, you may want to just I'm going to make a fill of none and maybe a red outline because I want to see where I'm drawing. These are going to be the white. And I would just want to make some white shapes. So as soon as I'm done, I'm just going to turn that white and turn off the fill. Again, it is a little easier if you don't have a fill. I was just being lazy and I didn't undo the fill. But I'm kind of used to these tools, so I can kind of know where they're going. But if you're new to them, again, you may just want to follow the no fill rule. All right, I'm going to modify this, pull it down a little bit, turn on my reds, and bring my whites to the top. And again, we're not going to worry about the stars or anything because those would be, we can do those in fresco later. All right, so now for the pole, you just want a new layer, use the pen tool. I would sample the color of the pole and go ahead and draw just your basic pole shape. Now you're going to take the picture layer, slide over, and hit delete. And so now we have a nice General McLean flag. All right, so this is pretty much it. Just check your edges. So if you have any little gaps or anything, this is where you would check. And again, you can just move things over. Now, if you feel comfortable, so I know I am not comfortable with just this being a shadow here. So I'm going to make a top layer. My fill is going to be my shadow color here. And I'm just going to make this correct. So I just know that this needs an angle down and an angle back. And then that actually creates a cube. So if you're comfortable with drawing that, I would recommend connecting those. It just makes it look a little bit more official for you. Okay, so now that you're done, you're going to go to the up arrow, go to publish and export, and you want to save this as an SVG. I'm sorry, a PNG export. And then you want to save the image and it will be exported. And the next time we come together, I'm going to show you how to add some details in this in Adobe Fresco.